What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Another Sunday, another episode of How to Podcast. This time I'm talking about Patreon. If you're familiar with Kickstarter, it's similar to Kickstarter in that you give perks for people to donate to a project that you're working on. Except for with Patreon, it's ongoing projects. So it works well for podcasters, for artists, anybody that puts out content on a regular basis. It's a way for people to make monthly donations and get access to bonus material. So Patreon's been around for a while now. I've been using it for, I think I set it up just before Denver, so it's probably been 3-4 years now. Very unsuccessful, by the way. So you're listening to somebody who understands Patreon, but has been unable to build my audience. Granted, the first few years while I was in Denver, didn't really focus on it too much as far as adding bonus material to Patreon. But since moving back to California, that was more of a focus to try and at least start adding bonus content. So for me, what I do, just for as an example, you can have different payment levels, which is not necessarily how I have mine structured. I probably should go back and restructure it. I've kind of restructured it a few times. But you can set different tiers. So you can have like entry level where they get these kind of bonus things, bonus videos, extra episodes, things like that. Then you have a higher tier where you get all of those things plus, even crazier benefits. So it's very similar structurally to Kickstarter in that way. The more somebody donates, the more access they get. And then you can also have goals. So if I start raising this, if I hit this benchmark as far as making per month, then I'll add this to the show. If I get this many donors, then I'll add this thing. So you can have goals as somebody who creates content as well, which helps, build interest and kind of give people a goal to reach, so they're not just trying to make you more money for the sake of making you more money. But as somebody who creates content on a regular basis, it is literally people paying you monthly to do the things that you love to do, assuming you love doing creative things. It is very much like a direct connection between the artist and his audience. As far as my ability to grow the thing, I don't know. Now I have actual content. So since I do this show daily, you can watch the full week. You can binge the full week. So if you're not necessarily into watching episode by episode, or you don't want to wait for what my review is of Free Solo on Friday, and you want to watch it now, you get that. And mine start how I have it structured right now. The first 100 people that sign up can sign up for $1. And then after that, it goes up, I think only to $3. I might change that again. So there's no real tiered structure. You basically get all of this stuff when you do donate, and it's only $1. Patreon.com/inspireddisorder. So you get to binge this show when it comes out. So basically, as soon as I'm done recording this episode, I will go through and I'll edit all 7 days. And at the end tonight, I will upload all of the episodes in one single file that if you're a member at Patreon, you'll go. And Patreon's kind of like a blog, and you just get access to certain posts. So you'll be able to binge watch on YouTube the full week. And I've been actually totally forgot, but eventually I'll add, you can host a podcast through there as well. So you can have, if your donors have access to, they can subscribe to your RSS feed, which would be for your podcast, similar to earlier stages that I've talked about in this series itself. So that's an added thing. So if you want to do bonus episodes, audio episodes, you could do that. So in addition to binging this show, you can also binge when I update the artwork, which I usually do about 24 pieces at a time, 12 to 24 pieces at a time that I'll update the many faces. So you'll be able to see the making of videos for all those faces. You'll also see the finished product of all of those faces, and then you'll have the ability to purchase any of those faces before they get released, which new face gets released every day on Instagram. So you can get first access to this show, first access to the artwork, also making of videos for Photoshops that I do, which I haven't been doing Photoshops for a while, and it just hasn't, and no projects have come up that I've noticed and been able to take care of. But when I do, they are there. You also, as a member on my Patreon page, patreon.com/inspireddisorder, if you are a member, you get a discount code for 75% off everything I sell at inspireddisorder.com. So that's all of my artwork, the shirts, this shirt, the Diseasy shirt, prints. I'm adding 40 sacks back, which are decorative bags to hold your 40 of malt liquor. So all of those things, you get 75% off when you are a member over at Patreon. So that's kind of the value you get when you go to my Patreon. People structure it differently. If you're setting it up just for a podcast, then you can always release bonus podcasts that are just through Patreon. A lot of people will do that. Then there'll be crazy, perks and things that you get for being a member, and raffles, which there's a lot of things that I want to do with Patreon. It just requires there being a bigger audience. Like I want to have giveaways. I want to be able to give art away to people that are part of my Patreon page, but it's something that I can't do when there's only 5 people who are donating. So it is tricky. I don't know the key necessarily to growing your audience on Patreon specifically. And everybody that I know that is successful on Patreon, they're also stand-up comedians. They're also YouTubers. They're people that already have podcast audiences. I don't know anybody that's grown their audience specifically through Patreon that would be on a more of an independent level, such as myself. But it's there. It's always good. I mean, for me, it's a win-win because I'm doing all this content. I just push out, the edited when all the videos are edited together, one single file. It's nice for a backup for me personally, but it's also nice for anybody that wants to support me. And the more people that support me, that legitimately helps me survive. So as an artist, Patreon gives us another avenue to help be financially stable and be financially independent, to make money doing the things that you love doing. There's a lot of models that are on there. There are cartoonists, there's animators, there's illustrators, there's musicians, there's podcasts, there's all kind of different creative endeavors that people are doing to try and get funded through Patreon. So you can go check out other people. If you don't want to donate $1 to me and you want to go donate to somebody else, go do that. But if you do like what I do and you appreciate that I'm putting out content on a daily basis, and maybe you'd like to get first access, get a little VIP treatment, go to patreon.com, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Donate, support. If you have recommendations, if you have advice for me on Patreon, please pass it on. But everybody should have a Patreon page if you're an artist. It just makes the most sense by far. Izzy's dying over here. Listen, this is what happens for an artist that doesn't have Patreon. I just discovered a new way to stop getting Izzy, because sometimes she chokes, her nose doesn't function right, and she can't breathe. Usually takes a while. I just got to put a mic in her face, and she shuts right up. That's it for this episode, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great week. InspiredDisorder.com for all of my stuff. @Ray Taylor for me. Peace out!